Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of the video is All Roads Lead to the M.O.T.B. Right, and basically this is another update, on the mark of the beast. So basically, I was looking through this one big beautiful bill, searching through it to find some type of stuff related to M.O.T.B. Couldn't really find anything, but I think I found this. I believe it's important. So the word biometric is listed here one time in the whole one big beautiful bill, and it goes into U.S. Right here, you can see the title, the section actually, section 60,003, U.S. Customs and Border Protection Technology, vetting activities, and other efforts to enhance border security. Right. So basically, how the elites operate is order out of chaos. Right. And right now, what do we have what do we have happening right now? A whole bunch of chaos revolving around what? The border. Right, illegal immigrants in the area, right? It's causing a big stir, a big problem, right? The people are rioting, they're upset and whatnot. So they have the solution, right? Is one of the solutions right here in this big beautiful bill. So they put billions of dollars aside for certain things. So I'm just jump down to number 3. All right, it says 673 million for necessary expenses, including the deployment of technology relating to the biometric entry and exit system under Section 7208 of the Intelligence Reform and Terrorism Prevention Act of 2004, which I got that pulled up also, right? Because this is a whole nother big, beautiful bill back from 2004. Right, so yeah, basically they have a biometric entry and exit system, right? So we're gonna get into all of that, right? So basically, what is biometrics? Right. I went on DeepSeek, which is another chat GPT or whatever, right? This one is called DeepSeek, and all this is regarding towards, like I said, the M.O.T.B, right? Which is something that you should be watching out for, right? And the steps leading up to that moment, because what these elites want is total control. And they get that by mixing man with machine and tracking man through machine, right? So anyway, it says biometrics refers to the measurements and statistical analysis of people's unique physical and behavioral characteristics. It is primarily used for identification and authentication purposes. So they have these, I know Israel has one over there, like the West Bank. They separate the Palestinians from themselves, right? And for you to, switch over between the gates, you have to go through this biometric screening, and they even have an app connected to it where it can easily track you. You put all your information on the app. You're supposed to keep the app. I would think that you would need to have that app to go through the gate. So this would be like steps towards moving towards the M.O.T.B, right? In that biometric scanning, right? And also I want to add, this is just before if I forget anything, which I have the 15-minute cities soon, just like Elder Pastor has been going to the 15-minute cities, you're going to be able to go in those 15-minute cities and, exit and entry, for, like a set number of times, basically. So you're going to need something to track you, and that's the biometrics, right? So anyway, it says type of biometrics. It says physical biometrics, behavioral, and it goes into like fingerprint, facial, the eye scan, right? So I'll just get to the conclusion. Really, you can search up biometrics. Biometrics is widely used in modern technology, from smartphones to airport security, making authentication faster and more secure. However, ethical and privacy concerns remain a topic of debate. See, and that's the thing. These elites, they want total control. So we've been through this a lot. So now this goes perfectly with the video that I played yesterday, regarding this T attack, that might happen because, like I said, the elites operate out of order, out of chaos. Now, this 2004 bill, which I'm gonna read probably after this, is was in place because of a T attack, a so-called T attack by Al Qaeda, right? The same Al Qaeda that's currently running Syria right now under the hand of America. Okay, so this is GMS Macadamia Spirit, right? And we'll start it from the 9-minute mark, and we'll let these ladies, talk about the plan or the T attack that might happen or whatever, right? Because the elites will use this to further push their agenda, basically, of these biometric screening areas, and then eventually the 15-minute cities and the entry and exit, right?
In your hometowns that ISIS trained for, they're a little bit more of that October.
Okay, so she's talking about ISIS. Sarah Adams, I will put her face up just so anyone who recognizes these people, I don't know who these people are. All right, these are the two women. The one with the microphone is the interviewer, and the other blonde chick is the one who's giving out the information. She does say some off stuff about 9/11 type event with suicide vest. And if anyone believes of 9/11, the official story. So that's as soon as she said that, I realized, well, she's pushing propaganda and a lie. But nevertheless, that does not mean that things are not about to happen. That's what Esau does. He warns you before he does something. All right. 9/11 was an orchestrated inside job. All right. And all the footage from the actual footage from the cameras and the people that were there and the people on the street, no one ever saw any planes. All right. They just heard the machine gun like explosions as the buildings were pulled. All three. It wasn't just two.
7th field. That's where you live, work, and play. Now, the big Al-Qaeda 9/11 plot is there's twofold. There's one piece that's actually not Al-Qaeda's plot. It's the IRGC plot against Donald Trump. So his assassination is a piece of the plot. Damn. And then the rest of the plot is Al-Qaeda's 9/11 plot. And basically that's actually an assault, mostly on Washington, D.C., and then it's assault on the aviation industry, and they're going to drop airliners with suicide vests.
Damn.
Are they still trying to do that?
Now, see.
Yeah, they've even moved the suicide.
Now, maybe they're going to actually try and do it for real this time. But once again, trying to push that 9/11 narrative as if that's the way planes went down, or planes actually went down at all, as far as in New York. All right. Yeah, because it's funny how where these planes went down. There was no luggage, no bodies, no nothing. But anyway.
That's over the U.S. border already. They got into the country with nobody in the U.S. government has found one of these vests yet. What? Whoa, let's back up there for a second. How did that happen? And are we vulnerable to this attack? Do we have protocols at our airports to prevent these from, if they're in the country already, how did they even get into the country? We know one shipment of them came over to Gaulis. We think it was a Sinaloa cartel, probably through a tunnel.
See, so what Sinaloa cartel? So why would a cartel who deals with selling drugs be running, vests with boom booms on them?
Right, cool. So, you can check the video out, of this brother speaking on it. He goes into it, whatnot. I seen 144 there, call Allah Yahweh Bashman Al-Shai, kind of threw me off. But check the video out. Check this brother's video out. So back to what I was talking about. So we have, money for necessary expenses, including the deployment of technology relating to the biometric entry and exit systems under section, which I'll get. So they have these individuals who are coming to be T's or whatever. They're coming in, they have something planned. And like I said, order chaos. On top of that, what are they doing? They're using the border as the problem also. So you can see kind of how all these intertwine with each other. So they said that Intelligence Reform and Terrorist Prevention Act, right? I got it pulled up right here. It says the Intelligence Reform and Terrorist Prevention Act of 2004 was a landmark piece of legislation that significantly reshaped the United States' approach to national security and terrorism, right? So it was all a plan, a ploy, right? A plot to issue in what they want, which is total control, right? It has always been a plan. It has, always been coming down the line. And I'll grab the scripture right here. It says, Revelation 13:11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. What these two horns as a lamb is going into is the fact that he had two separate parties, a Democrat party and a Republican party, allowing you to believe and to deceive you that you had a choice to pick between two parties, but the whole time these two parties were working together, forwarding their agenda. And it says, and he spake as a dragon, which will go into draconian measures, right? Like bills being passed to have total control over you, right? So each president, like you can see, this was signed like this, like I said, the bill here was signed in 2004, right? And that's what I'm going into, right? But here we are in 2025, and we're still talking about the same stuff from 2004. All right, so the section they was talking about is this section from this bill from 2025, 2026, one big beautiful bill, had a section in here written from this bill from 2003, 2004. In section 7208, it says, requires the secretary to, one, develop a plan. Oh, matter of fact, I wanted to grab the fact that it was this is all regarding what? This whole event, that they was talking about, that T event, right? And now here they are in 2025 talking about another T event, right? That might happen, and what all is going to do is forward their agenda to bring the squeeze on the people, right? And I'm gonna remember to drop these things in the comment section. You just search up these bills. It says develop a plan to accelerate full implementation of an automated biometric entry and exit data system, right? And again, all these bills are going to be put into place, and then ultimately they're going to come with these 15-minute cities where they trap you in the area, and have you M.O.T.B'd up, where you can only entry and exit through biometric scanning with your palm of your forehead. It says integrate the entry exit system with all databases and data systems maintained by specified federal agencies that possess or contain information on aliens, right? And all y'all gonna be aliens, right? Everybody, total control. Everybody gonna be an alien because they're gonna track and trace everybody. They're gonna have some type of event where they say, well, we need to track and trace everybody. It says establish procedures to ensure that the accuracy and integrity of data in the entry exit system, including procedures for individuals to seek correction of such data, implement a registered traveler program to expedite processing of travelers entering and exiting the United States, which will be integrated with entry exit systems. It says causes all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free of bond to receive a mark. So they're saying, if you want to come to the United States, you want to have to get a part of this program too. It says require the standardization of information and data collected from foreign nationals, as well as the procedures used to collect such data. Then in the next one, it says a plan to require biometric passports or other secure passport for all travel into the United States by U.S. citizen and by categories of individuals for whom documentations requirements were previously waived. Yeah, so if they do a T attack, everybody gonna need some documentation because they don't know who the hell attacking, right? So it's a quick update on that. I found this in this big beautiful bill, right? I think it's pretty important. The scriptures say, "Be not ignorant." Let me grab that. First of all, it says, "Be not ignorant of Satan's devices." We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. It's not a big mistake. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 15 says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small," right? So yeah, that was an update on that. So this entry exit system, let's see what it's talking about. The EU's entry exit system, EES, is an automated IT system that records the entry and exit of non-EU nationals crossing the external borders of the Schengen area, right? But obviously, America is, hip to this now, right? They're getting into it because the world is going digital, because the world is heading towards total control through the M.O.T.B, which will be the great testing of the world. It says it aims to improve security, to facilitate border checks, and replace manual passport stamping. The EES will collect collect biometric data, fingerprints, and facial images and passport details, and store the data for a period of time, right? And then eventually, the data will be stored, into that M.O.T.B, right? Because come on, bro, they keep making things easier, faster, and better. Pretty soon, they're gonna just have it in your body, right? It makes all the sense in the world. And if you don't see it, then the Most High is probably not dealing with you, right? So let me grab this. Revelation 13:11, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him," right? The first beast was what? The Roman Empire. And America, the new Rome, is following the footsteps of the ancient Roman Empire, because America is the new Rome. It says, "And causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Right? So the Roman Empire was healed through what? The rebirth, which is the Renaissance period. And from that came America, right? So you're worshiping, after the beast, which now basically is America. It says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth and in the sight of men." Who dropped these bombs on Japan? It was America, right? So this is talking about America. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live." Right. And ultimately, America's beast system goes into everything that they have now: the NATO, the EU, right, and their power structure, right, and even going into this digital age. As you can see, where was it? Right here. It was the EU that started this entry and exit system first, but basically America is running the world and is controlling the EU. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had the power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." And as you can see, day by day, he's pushing forward his agenda that individuals are worshiping this beast system, and ultimately is going to end to what? The M.O.T.B, right, which would be a digital RFID chip, right? So, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the name of the name." So eventually what? Well, this chip, will be tied to buying and selling, right? It says, "Here is wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 right? That's Esau Edom, and he's moving forward with his system. So I got this 15-minute city, because you're gonna have to entry and exit out of these 15-minute cities.
Imagine a city where everything you need is just a short walk or bike ride away. A place where work, groceries, schools, and parks are all within a 15-minute radius. Welcome to the concept of a 15-minute city. Currently, 16 cities around the world have committed to implementing a 15-minute city structure, which many believe will be the way of the future. Paris has taken major strides toward that goal by constructing more than 600 miles of protected bike lanes and introducing more green spaces. That kind of infrastructure encourages sustainable ways of getting around, contributing to reduced traffic congestion and a healthier urban ecosystem. The positive impacts observed from the 15-minute city model have caught the attention of the United States. Inspired by Paris's approach, Cleveland's mayor has initiated a similar plan, aiming to transform significant portions of the city into healthier, more connected living spaces. But not everyone is happy about the idea.
If they do limit people to those places, that is exactly what people are terrified of. If they embrace this concept and create this model, and then somehow or another mandate that you stay inside that, that's terrifying.
In addition to Joe Rogan, right-wingers like Jordan Peterson also oppose the concept of a 15-minute city. Peterson labeled it a tyrannical, bureaucratic idea. Conservative circles that subscribe to Rogan and Peterson see it as government overreach or even a conspiracy. They fear loss of personal freedoms and increased government control over urban planning. However, the essence of the 15-minute city lies in empowerment, not constraint. It's about creating communities where accessibility thrives, where local economies flourish, and where people have easier access to what they need without long commutes or extensive carbon footprints. I mean, the whole idea of a walkable city isn't new. Places like Paris, Venice, and New York were meticulously designed around people long before cars took center stage. Today's 15-minute city isn't about restrictions, it's about expanding horizons. It reintroduces neighborhoods where life works.
No, I'm sorry, I had to pause that. She's lying to you. All right, they're trying to deceive you. It is about power and control and all of that, right? Because that's how these elites who run the world, this is how they operate, right? And the warning has been going forth from the men of the Lord, right? The prophets. We're warning you about these 15-minute cities and how the world is going digital, leading you to the M.O.T.B, right? So anyway, Lord willing, edify from the lesson. I'll say shalom, so for like, which consists of men, women, and children, shalom.